I was thinking, this is kind of a sad event that we have to have this conversation, but after hearing some of the other speakers, I'm fired up and I'm excited. So say it with me. Here I am.
Here I am.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Together.
Together.
Now, first off, give all of yourselves a round of applause for being out here and standing in solidarity with each and everybody here. Today, we're talking about a very important topic, as all of us know, and that's combating anti-Semitism. Because when you just discriminate against one, you discriminate against all of us. We know the dark stain that anti-Semitism and anti-Jewish communications has left throughout this country and left throughout this world, and it's still to this day, years later, rearing its ugly head in our society. As I heard Assemblywoman Bauer Cain speaking today, it deeply resonated with me because I remember the stories of hearing my grandparents who left Jim Crow, Mississippi to Richmond, California to pursue something I think all of us like, which is life, liberty, and happiness. Now, discrimination comes in so many different forms, and many of us have felt it in so many different ways, whether it's subtle, it's sly comments that you get at Safeway, or it's outright hate crimes. And any and all of it should never be tolerated, which is why I'm so excited that we're all here today to acknowledge that we don't want to see this in our community. I, as a Christian black man, don't want to see it to my Jewish brothers and sisters and my families. At the same time, we must remember that right now throughout this country, you don't have to travel far to see it. There are people who want to erase history, erase what has happened to so many of us throughout this world. And sometimes we wonder, why are people believing the exact same thing? Why are we having some of these conversations where we have to remind people the Holocaust was an actual event? So to the little kids out there who may be watching this, ask those questions. To the grandparents out there, educate your kids. Now, whether it be injustice rooted in race, gender, socioeconomic disparities, all of us are tied together because I'm going to tell you right now, discrimination from an economic standpoint, on top of being morally wrong, is pretty expensive. I want everybody to be able to uplift themselves and achieve that dream that so many of us continue to fight for. As we all know, one of the beauties of this state and the beauties of this country is our diversity. I like to use the term the salad bowl that some of us may have heard, where we embrace our differences and we embrace the different flavors that brought us to this country and brought us to this state. Look around you. It's quite clear that we all want to be here for our Jewish community right now, that we all stand in solidarity, but this requires action and accountability. Now, we have a great group of elected officials sitting here right now, and I'll say, hold us accountable. When something happens in one of our cities and you don't see a statement from us, you better start bugging us. Because the crazies out there that can reach out on Zoom, they're already doing it. So we need good people with good hearts who want to take on that fight and want to speak out against injustice. Now, for the folks who've been there for Black Lives Matter or some of the instances of injustice against the API community, we're going to need your help in this fight too. This is an all-hands-on-deck approach. As I mentioned, education plays a pivotal point, but it's also conversations, whether they be comfortable or uncomfortable. And I know a lot of people don't like to have some of these tough conversations. And lastly, and I'll close out with this, institutions, whether they be education, at home, society, religion, all play a role in how we feel about one another and how we can empathize and how we sympathize. So we must hold them accountable, whether it's at work and you haven't talked to your HR director, or maybe it's a community group that you may be involved with. If we're not speaking up about it behind closed doors, how can we expect anything to happen in front of the public? Thank you, everybody. I'm proud to be here. You have an amazing group of elected officials in this fight. Let's take it on, everybody.